Hello there, guys, and welcome to my crackbook, my Twitter, my YouTube, and basically my social media platform that gives me a voice as a mother with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and diagnosed with Asperger's, as well as a diagnosis through the family courts as borderline personality with narcissistic personality traits. So welcome. I'm going to do something that I don't know whether anybody has ever really done before. I've sort of done it before because, as you know, on the 13th of December 2012, two of my children, Aaron and Faith, were taken by Flintshire County Council, taken, stolen, kidnapped. They were taken against my consent and forced adopted against my consent by Flintshire County Council. I've seen enough cases to see a pattern in this system from many different sides. Tonight I read out a poem from a mum who put up a post about losing her case of 3 years for her children now going for forced adoption. She has 21 days to execute some form of injunction to prevent this from happening and stand alone, but with a big support network. But people genuinely stand alone. So anyway, today I received my assessment record, Portsmouth City Council. ICS, Statutory Single Assessment. Now, I'm sorry this is done at 1:30 in the morning. The reason it is because I have two little boys in bed asleep, and obviously during the day I don't have the time to do this sort of stuff. But dealing with social care is a full-time job. Now, as people know, Aaron and Faith were forced adopted, and I met a guy on Downing Street called Zen, known to most of the protesters called Zen, aka Dean Stockley, aka Dean Samuel. He basically said to me that I had taken it as far as I could as a campaigner. I wasn't a campaigner, I was a mum who was gagged by the Royal Courts of Justice and taken for a committal to prison, for a 2-year committal to prison, for speaking out on social media about Flintshire County Council taking 2 of my children. I still had 2 other children, Liam and Daniel. They took Aaron and Faith, who were 2 and 3 at the time. Elijah and Shiloh are 2 and 3. Now, I came to Portsmouth because I was born here. I literally was on Downing Street in July 2015, only a week after the actual adoption was rubber stamped. Yes, I had a home to live with the children. Yes, I had a job. In fact, I was offered so many different places from many people all around the fucking world. People were offering me hotel places with a whole floor to myself, penthouse suites. People were offering me villas. People were offering for me to live with their family, that they had a big enough home for me and the kids to go there. And you know, but so many people wrote to the courts to say that all of these things were available to me, and the judge just shut it all down, slammed every response, every email, every letter. Obviously, prior to my committal to prison, I had gone onto social media and I had written onto my social media account. And to those that don't know, I was in the media in 2010. I've been on and off in the media all my life. I've done lots of different things anyway. But I was in the media in 2010 for Challenge Britain. And I was basically getting to rip the core of the main problem of the UK out so we could move to a community spirit-driven, purpose-driven living sort of life. And before Aaron and Faith were taken, I was already aware of the problem, and I was aware of the problem to a level where my understanding and belief was that the system was underfunded, under-resourced, people were overworked, underpaid, that social workers had sort of 30 to 50 cases, and it was all about this. Yeah. Obviously, somebody like me who is absolutely obsessed with Hallmark and true movies and things like that is very aware of illegal adoption cases, and especially through being involved in End It. Have you noticed whose signatures are on the back of this, by the way? The Queen, by the way, has the copyrights to the cure. Make sure you get your silver bullet if you are infected with obviously what's going on with China, which is a man-made depopulation drug. Don't let the media hype you up. But anyway, away from everything else. Have I always been aware of corruption? Yes, of course I have. Of course. Why would have I not been aware of corruption? I was raised by a father who raised me on Bruce Lee. And I watched the film The Crow. Obviously, we know about Bruce Lee's son and a lot of stuff that went on and blah, 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 blah. Princess Diana. 911. The list goes on. Now, I don't want to get a lot in it. I do know about the case with some of the conspiracy theories, that obviously the case is not that there isn't a conspiracy about it, it's this sensitivity to the people who were actually killed during it. So on one side there's this underfunded, under-resourced, overworked system, and then there's this other side of it that is about the fact that it's underfunded, under-resourced, blah, 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 blah. But on the 15th of December 2019, 2 police officers and 2 social workers knocked on my front door, and I opened the door to 2 police officers, and Dean stood behind the 2 police officers. Nah! What the fuck's going on? The night previously, on the 14th of December 2019, I had 2 security officers at my front door. My door was open. It was about 9:30 at night, and the 2 officers were there, and they had a body camera on, pointing into my hallway while I was taking out the stuff, because we put Christmas decorations up, and I was preparing everything for Jamie, who was going to take everything down to storage. My neighbours already knew I'd been doing all this, and my health visitor had been around previously with some gifts from the radio station, and hello there, Maria, lots of hugs to you too. And yeah, so basically they were concerned because outside I also had a sign and a bin or something like that. So anyway, as a result of that, I asked the security officer, I said to him, is that on? He said, yes. I said, can you turn it off, please? He said, no. I said, well, it's pointing into my home. Can you please turn it off? You're filming without my consent. He said, no. I said, well, okay then, stay there 2 seconds. You have no rights to enter into my property. If you cross over the threshold, you will be done for entering my property without any reason to do so, and you are not welcome. And I went and grabbed my phone, of which obviously, as we know, wasn't working. So I stood there and said, okay, if you're filming me, then I'm filming you. Elijah come back free. Shiloh was still asleep, and obviously Elijah had been woken up by them knocking on the door originally in the first place. He'd actually just been chilling with me for ninning. The door was still open because obviously the stuff was outside, and I was a bit more delayed than I needed to be. And as people know, prior to that, the day was the 13th of December, which was the anniversary of 7 years ago of Aaron and Faith being taken. I've always said there is something funny around these dates. Aaron and Faith were taken on the 13th of December 2012. Baby P was taken on the 13th of December 2013. There are other recorded lots of dates of children that are removed around the time of Christmas. It's like the adoption of puppies, isn't it? The rate of the amount of adoption is actually not as much now, I do believe, because they're more stricter about obviously people adopting puppies for Christmas and then not And that actually the theme used to be, you know, not just for Christmas, you know, adoption is for life, not just for Christmas. So then you've got this other factor going on, that on one side you've got social care that is then meant to be there to support and enable people who are considered vulnerable of society. So that is people of physical disability, mental health. These are brackets created by man, created by government, but disability, mental health, learning difficulties, any person through any form of rehabilitation, prison, things like that. In order to achieve equality for people who have limitations known to be a disability, a gap between where they are and where they want to be because of being held back by challenges that they may be facing. The point of the system, the point to the system of a compassionate heart and understanding for the people that it's serving, yes, is that it's meant to be loving and nurturing and kind and giving. And like I always said, when a social worker knocks on your door, you should want to lay the rose petals out for them, because whatever problem may be going on in your life, they're going to come along and take the thorn out of your finger and remind you that you're a rose. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, they're meant to be a gift to the people. They're not meant to be there to overstand. They're meant to understand. They're not meant to be there to criticize or judge or persecute. They're meant to be there to love, guide, protect, and nurture. Do you know what I mean? It's also like the right hand and the left hand. You know, you put a child through foster care and you tell them they're meant to be all of these things. But actually, when they are all of these things, society says, no, you can't be all of these things. But hang on a minute, but, you know, you're just a foster care kid. You know, and society knows that the foster care system is rolling out predominantly drugs, alcohol, homelessness, prison, prostitution, and many being sexually abused within the care system by their own foster carers, by their own adopters, even murdered by adopters for foster carers, social workers. There's good and there's bad. You know, I'm not here to slag down the good. I'm here to expose the bad, you know. So, and also to achieve, I keep asking, please give me a positive story. Somebody come to me who says that, you know, they were rescued from real bad fucking abuse by their family, by social workers, and you know, they've been loved and cared for by, you know, the people that have nurtured them along the way, all the way through. And I'm saying all the way through, all the way through. Not just this social worker was really good, but this one was really bad. All the way fucking through. And not that they had 10 or 15 placements along the way and, you know, maybe straight into the hands of their adopters, and they've gone on to be amazing fucking people as a result of, you know, being with him. You know, so give me a case like this that isn't on benefits in social housing, or maybe in just a job on the hamster wheel. You know, give me somebody who's purpose driven, and give me somebody who's like that from their own family. But I'm not saying that adoptive foster carers or real parents need to be perfect. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when somebody has a problem and it needs to be fixed. It's like taking a car to the garage, isn't it? You don't turn up to a car with a garage and say, my car's not really got any problems, you know. I don't really need you to have a look at it. It's just government. It's just government need it to be checked. It's an old car, but don't worry about it. There's nothing wrong with it. And you take it into the car garage, and the car garage says, honey, there's a lot of rust underneath this. You need to actually accept that there's a bit of rust on this car, and actually you haven't been serving it very well. And did you know, darling, it's petrol, not diesel, and it's sort of caused a bit of problems with your engine. You've got to make a decision, haven't you? Do you get a new car, or do you pay to invest in doing up that car? Now, we only get one body, so we can't turn around and go, oh, fuck's sake, I've really fucked up this mind, or I've really fucked up this body, or I've really fucked up this material life existence that lives out here, that is nothing more than material existence of internal punishment of oneself. Do you know what I mean? Or just, where we are within this three-dimensional system where you go along and you fill out a form and housing, and they can put you where they've got availability. It's not a case of them just sort of saying, I'll put this one there and that one there. It actually is, but to some degree. But this is the problem. It's like Asperger's. It's a spectrum. And it's exactly the same with all of us. You can't one box fix all. I've got some dear lovely lady who's offering to buy some trainers, and you can't just sort of go online and just go, this trainer's going to fit Kelly's feet and it's going to be great. And you can't be ungrateful either, because this is a gift. But I have EDS, I have arches and blah 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 blah. Do you know what I mean? And da, 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 da. So the fact is, I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Now, Aaron and Faith were taken from me because they said Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is the easiest condition for anyone to claim to have. And they then turned around and then at the last minute said I was so sick that the estate would end up being my children's carers, or my children would end up being my carers. So I want to show you why the system is flawed immediately. There was a guy knocking at my door because of the things outside, because I videoed him back. He has concerns with my mental health. He didn't have concerns with my mental health to the level that his protocol is to ring an ambulance or to alert the mental health authorities. So therefore, he wasn't actually that concerned with my mental health. What he did is he put report into children, social care, because the children were up there. However, he reported that the children were happy and healthy, and it was late. Actually, he's lied about the time, which actually I can get his body camera and prove the time. And I'm aware of the time because Jamie had just said, I will be back down by, and I might have to go back. Still here, flying through the kitchen. Bear with me, and this is going to prove a point as well. Sorry about that. Right, this will also prove my point with this, because the two boys are actually in a double bed in our one-bedroom flat, and this is now 4 times that social care have told housing to move us. Social workers don't ever make assumptions. Fault 1. Hi Kelly, attempted to visit you and the children on the 2nd of the 3rd, 20 at 11 AM, but you must be out. Assumption. She made an assumption because my buggy was not in the hallway. It is in fact in my hallway because the council won their war with me over my buggy. But it's not that they've won. I've brought it in because the fire brigade I might have to quickly do a nappy change. The fire brigade are now going to declare it as a fire hazard on the inside. So I have to do a nappy change. I'm going to stay here quickly. 2 seconds. Yep, that was almost get back and do my bum. Oh, children are really easy. They either want feeding, nappy change, or they're cold. So anyway, statutory report. So social worker straight away on here made an assumption that I was out. I was actually in. In fact, the boys had woken up really early this morning, and they got up about 7:45. They got up. That's early for Elijah. It's not early for Shiloh, but it's early for Elijah. And we'd been up and we'd been doing some reading and doing some numbers and alphabets and things. And then we actually snuggled down for a film. Went back to sleep at about 10. And I didn't actually hear the door go because we would have woken up to it, because I would have definitely woken up to it. So we'd all been snuggled up. So anyway, listen to this. I've sent you a copy of my assessments, which recommended protection planning. Also included supported housing letters. We will go through these. I will try to visit you tomorrow, Tuesday at 3 p.m. with the health visitor to discuss. Thank you, Victoria. So anyway, here is social care's first mistake. The investigation is on me. So write your fucking paperwork on me, yeah, on me, Kelly Cottam, yes, Kelly Cottam, you want to investigate me, all paperwork needs to be on me. I'm glad that this has now turned up, because now this has turned up, now I can officially class this as harassment, and I can officially class this as abusive, and I can officially, through their own 4 assessments, prove that 4 times they have changed the own copy and paste from the report that they were sent from Flintshire County Council with the information of Aaron and Faith. And now, when I open these documents that are in Shiloh and Elijah's name, I have to read about Aaron and Faith. In Elijah and Shiloh's records. Now, officially, if Aaron and Faith have been adopted, then Shiloh and Elijah shouldn't know anything about them, because they're not their brother and sister. So why should they be mentioned in their paperwork? We've had this argument with them before. Also, the fact that these records should be assessed not by children social workers. I should be assessed by an adult social worker, because they work for children social care and they are the children's social worker. And if they are writing about the children, therefore they should be getting an assessment from adult social care, therefore then making legal reasonable adjustments and then assessing how this affects the children in the home, be it whether I have mental health, a disability, learning difficulties. Their job is to work together in co-symbioticness to create a mainframe that supports the family from a personal-centered plan from the person who is the weakest link, like a relay race, basically. So anyway, I have forewarned people that with the gap in the system for the universal credits, that it knocks people to this. Hence why social care have so many people on their system. Hence why they have so many children in social care, because they don't actually have a tick box for working with families with disabilities, because this is coming from a child protection point of view, because it was on the door by the police. The police that didn't come for Kelly Cottam, the police that came for the social worker attending the property. First and foremost is a letter here from the social worker to my housing officer, Eva. I'm writing on behalf of Ms. Kelly Cottam, who currently resides at 12 Edgbaston, Sedgley Close, to support and manage move. This is now the 4th time that social care have done this. The family are currently overcrowded in their one-bedroom property. Miss Cottam is the mother of 2 young children, aged 2 and 3, who reside in their home with their children's father, Mr. Samuel. The property has 1 bedroom, which has a double bed in it, unsuitable for 2 adults and 2 young children. Ms. Cottam has a diagnosis of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is an increased range of joint mobility, joint hypermobility, stretchy skin, fragile skin that breaks or bruises easily, and dislocate joints, as well as a diagnosis of Asperger's syndrome. The cramped living conditions are having a negative impact on Ms. Cottam's mental health due to struggling to manage the space of her family, as well as a significant impact on the children's development. I have completed an assessment for the family following a recent referral which has raised concerns of Ms. Cottam's mental health, which is no way helped by the living conditions. Miss Cottam is currently sleeping on a living room floor of a broken pull-out bed. Miss Cottam explains it's causing tension between herself and Mr. Samuel, which has resulted in them sleeping separately, and Miss Cottam, Mr. Samuel leaving the home for long periods of time. I'm not allowed to talk about Dean Samuel. We don't talk about Dean Samuel. Mrs. Cottam has explained, Mr. Samuel has been told by a solicitor today that Mr. Samuel may not talk to Miss Cottam as well. Money, 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 something funny in the social world. Money, 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 something funny in the care system. Miss Cottam has explained to the social worker that the children will generally fall asleep in the bedroom together. However, due to them being small, young and similar age, will kick each other and wake up each other. Hence, you've just seen. So she will have to bring one of them through to the living room. Children need appropriate beds appropriate to sleep each night to ensure they are getting enough rest to sleep their development and promote a clear routine for the family. This lady does not have children, by the way. This is a cut and paste letter. This is not able to happen while the family remain in their current property. It raises concerns for myself as a social worker due to the children not having their own beds and suitable place to sleep. Oh. When she sees the health visitor tomorrow, she'll know that there's always been funding available for us to put the children's 2 beds there. But we were trying to get a proper sofa bed in here, which we couldn't get funding for at the time. And I've had quite a few ones off Marketplace or Free Cycle, but to actually just go to Argos and go and buy a really decent sofa bed is just not in my range right now. I don't have credit cards, and so we said until we could get this sorted, it was pointless, because Dean sleeps in there with the boys when he's there, and we've got the other sofa in there which Elijah sleeps on as well, and it's a 1-bedroom. At the end of the fucking day, what we're meant to do, we do the best. I can't put them in bunk beds, can I, and a double bed on the other side, because there's no fucking room. So anyway, we decided to delay the funding until we moved, because they were told to move us, and yet again they didn't. So anyway, let me carry on. Because now all of a sudden the social worker's got concerns, and I have to go on to child protection, even though they've already done this, but we have to go round and round the houses yet again, don't we? Different people, new system, new allegations. Lucky I'm a strong person, eh? Miss Cottam is unable to rectify this in the current situation. Alongside sleeping arrangements, Miss Cottam's neighbours continuously make noise. It's not actually the neighbours, it's actually the council. By drilling and protect the council, hey? By drilling and banging throughout the day. Miss Cottam and I understand this will happen while living in a flat type accommodation, and that it cannot always be helped. However, Miss Cottam struggles to deal with the frequent loud noises and distractions, likely due to her Asperger's syndrome. No, when the social worker came to the door and she was leaving, the drilling went on and she went, "Whoa, what was that?" It's a normal reaction from anybody, and anybody living here as a normal person would struggle very much with the amount of drilling. It's a 17-floor block, 8 floors wide, 2 long side. Drilling goes on here. It's a building site. Asperger's yeah, highly sensitive. They knew this at the beginning. So anyway, Ms. Cottam has explained this caused her anxiety due to feeling annoyed and frustrated, which ultimately has an impact on the children's well-being as they are exposed to Ms. Cottam's feeling anxious and frustrated, raising further concerns for what emotional dysregulation the children are being exposed to. The recent referral to children's social care was received from the community warden team following them noticing multiple home belongings outside in the hallway, which caused a fire risk due to the placement of these objects in the communal hallway and nearby other residents' front door. Well, she wasn't. Ms. Cottam has been offered storage downstairs, however, due to the children. Actually, I use my storage downstairs. However, due to the children in her care, with the lack of support, she is unable to carry these items while having 2 children running around to the storage area. Yes, it's not fucking easy, but we do it. Miss Samuel is not always present at the home address due to their fractious relationship, which just leaves Miss Cottam any option for where the children will be safe. Children's social care and the health visitor have advised Mr. Cottam, Miss Cottam and Mr. Samuel to explore nursery places or a registered childminder for the children to aid their development, while giving Miss Cottam time to undertake housekeeping tasks without children in her care. However, Miss Cottam feels anxious about this and plans to apply for a nursery when the family have a settled home environment to ensure that they do not start a new area and then have to move again. Ms. Cottam has explained that she has previously worked from home due to her EDS and additional needs. However, the family do not currently have the space for her to do so, which causes her further anxiety and stress. As the social worker, as the family's social worker, wow, we have family social worker in this sentence. I would fully support an urgent managed move to benefit all family members, including their social, physical and emotional environment. If you need regard, I should give the telephone number out because some of you like to contact her directly and talk about me. Her name is Victoria Ross. If you would like to put a complaint in about Kelly Cottam and her parenting, go ahead, you cunts. It's more evidence for court. So, anyway, we have here at the back of it. Please do fill these out, people, when you get your reports. Annual review of Portsmouth City for Children and Family Services. Make sure when you get your report, actually make sure that this is put into their system. It's fundamental you do. I'm very patronising right now, aren't I? I feel very patronised. Reflection of one's own mind, giving back what I get. Shall we do Elijah or Shiloh Samuel's report? Oh, sorry, other names: Cottam Baby, Cottam Shiloh, Cottam Unborn. That's from the previous records that they have. If you refer to my children as Cottam again, their dad's likely to break your legs. He won't actually break your legs, but he might say a sentence like that to people and feel that way. But yes, we're going to take you to court that you may not refer to Elijah and Shiloh under my ex-husband's name ever again. So why are these reports in Elijah and Shiloh's name when the assessment is meant to be on my mental health? Because they have anxiety and stress. Listen to this, it's so funny. I haven't actually read Elijah's, but I assume they're both the same. Let me just double check, because I've read Shiloh's and I assume that they're just... So if you just, I'll just show you through them. I'll just sure. Yeah, it's just cut and paste. Cut and paste. So, which child shall we go with? Let's go with Elijah. It's meant to be about me, by the way. So anyway, their assessment of my mental health. So basically, for those that don't know, this is called a assessment record. So on the 15th of December 2019, 2 police officers, 2 social worker. They came in, talked to me. Then they came up, and a social worker knocked on my door on Christmas Eve. Brought a couple of gifts around, said hello. Then they go off and they do a parent assessment. So funny, I have a psychology degree, it makes it even more laughable. They do a parental assessment. A parent assessment on thin air, it's like amazing, and these people haven't even got kids. Oh, it's fucking laughable, it really is. No wonder it's so fucked, and kids are getting taken left, right and centre, and people are screaming left blue murder at these cunts, do you know what I mean? So anyway, council, just to refer you there, Portsmouth, it's got their stamp on it, yeah, so it's the council, and the person who goes is an agent of that council, so it's the council kidnapping our kids and persecuting us. So anyway, client ID, my son's name, his date of birth, his previous names, his address, as above, an ICI, so which is a statutory single assessment. The information of this report was based on information available on the 22nd of the 3rd, 2020. My living room's changed since then, so quite a lot of students changed since then too as well, actually. So anyway, here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready to assassinate me? Let's do this. Reasons for undertaking the statutory single assessment. Reasons for undertaking the statutory single assessment. On the 15th of December 2019, a referral was received to Children's Social Care from Portsmouth City Council community wardens. The warden attended the home of Elijah and Shiloh due to health and safety concern. The home of Elijah and Shiloh. So they attended the home of Elijah and Shiloh, so they're checking up on my children, basically. Trying to probably knock on the... I'm so glad Dean turned up. They so weren't expecting Dean to be at home on this day. Oh, I'm so glad he turned up. I'm so glad he turned up, and I'm so glad he wasn't in the house at the time that they knocked on the door. I think we pretty much foresaw some couple of things coming. Maybe Dean foresaw. I don't know. I'm even on my deathbed, I'm probably not going to see all the variables, independent variables that have been around me all this time. You know, I'm probably not going to see the truth on some things for a long time. So I'm sorry this is going to be probably a bit long, but I think this is really important that I do this. If you want to stay, you can. If you want to read this later, hopefully I'll try and edit stuff and talk about this stuff and do it properly. And tomorrow I'm probably going to get gagged. Hence why I'm doing it now. So anyway, the warden had attended the home of Elijah and Shiloh due to health and safety concerns. Upon making contact with Miss Cotton, they raised concerns of the welfare of the family due to Miss Cotton presenting with significant mental health needs. Single assessments are essential tasks for children's social worker practice, and it is linked to the assessment framework Working Together to Safeguard Children 2018. It examines the caregiver's ability to protect the children from harm and their ability to meet their children's needs. The wider world. Understanding my family's history, background and beliefs. Please remember these sentences because what they talk about has got fuck all to do with these topic and headings. You'd fail exam. Ms. Cotton, actually, and I'm also need to protect the discussion of per se father because he's got a solicitor and he's going for it with these bastards because they're dicks. So I'm just going to say children's father rather than his name because I don't want to cross lines of people, do you know what I mean? They can get my videos taken down if I do. So, Ms. Kelly Cotton, me, my name, Kelly, hi, and said, father of one's children. Let me just check quickly. tree in this because my kids have always had the beds and shit and stuff. That's why I have to stop working for free and start actually working. So anyway, the wider world. If I was sat in an office and Dean was laying with the kids in bed, it wouldn't be such a problem, you know what I mean? So anyway, here we go. I'm going to fill in the gaps and point out what's not true along the way. So, Miss Bottom, Mr. said, children's father, are parents to Elijah and Shiloh. Miss Cottam has 4 other children, Liam, Daniel, Aaron and Faith. Miss Cottam has 4 other children. Miss Cottam parented Liam until independence and Daniel until he was around 14 years old. Around this time, children's social care records show this was around the time that Aaron and Faith were removed from Miss Cottam's care by Flintshire Children's Social Care. As you'll know, Liam stayed with me, Daniel went to his dad after it all happened. So, social care records and assessment indicate concerns around instability. As you'll know, I was evicted. Miss Cottam's mental health and her behaviour towards Aaron and Faith and risk of physical abuse. The risk, possible future emotional harm. Which actually, again, this is where I'm going to prove on their previous statements that they changed and edited it yet again. Hang on, sorry. He's actually still asleep, but if he wakes up and comes in here, then I'll click off and I'll try and do this. I've got my phone now, so I've just got to decide whether to use the SIM card that I've got in, but it's come up with 3G, so usually I'm on 4G, so I don't know whether to try and change the SIM card or not, but the moment I do, I might have enough to put some credit on it as well. So the moment I've got the correct SIM card, I will literally be up and flying doing this properly. So I'll do it in quick intervals on my phone, and then the kids can use this when I'm not writing my book. So Aaron and Faith, talk about double punish me. Underwent child protection medical before being police protected following an emergency protection order being granted. Following proceedings, Miss Cottam underwent a psychological assessment to assess her mental health. It was reported during this period Miss Cottam's children raised concerns about their home life. Aaron and Faith were subsequently subjected to child protection and placement orders before being placed for adoption in 2013. That's actually not true because, being placed for 2013. So again, that's all just a thing, and she's even put the wrong thing in there because it was homelessness. Following Aaron and Faith being adopted, Miss Cottam began a campaign against forced adoption, as she strongly believes the removal of her children of her care was unjustified. This is the 4th assessment to have been completed by Portsmouth Children's Social Care. Thanks, cunts. And not just for this, because of other people out there that have kept constantly doing this. And they've changed this as well. As this is the 4th assessment that's been completed, Miss Cottam first came known to Portsmouth children's social care in January 2016. And yes, because of homeless and being pregnant. Now listen to this. A referral was received from housing raising concerns regarding domestic abuse perpetrated by Ms. Cottam towards Mr. Samuel. A pre-birth assessment was completed which highlighted the historical concerns regarding Aaron and Faith in 2012 before placing for adoption in 2013. The assessment completed recommended child protection planning. Elijah was subjected to child protection planning and the local authority issued public outline law. For those that don't know what public outline law is and why they do that is because that's where the funding is for your psychological report, and that's, they can't, as social workers, they can't actually get you to have a psychological assessment. You have to agree to it basically, and they can only get the funding through either courts or legal planning. So they put me through a psychological assessment when we first got here, blah 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 blah. During this time, Miss Cottam and, say, fathers engaged very well with the local authority. Listen to that, because you'll hear them criticise, you'll hear them contradict themselves in a minute with their psychological report. So let me read that again. Engaged very well with the local authorities. Miss Cottam engaged with a psychological assessment which concluded that Miss Cottam did not have a mental illness but displayed personality traits that would make it difficult to engage with professionals. However, we worked well with the service. A parental assessment was also completed and said father was considered to be the protective factor. Due to the progress made, the case came out of public outline law because it was agreed that I didn't have any mental illness, and subsequently closed to Portsmouth Social Care in March 2017. The second assessment was completed in August 2007. The referral stated Ms. Cottam called the police due to the behaviour involving parents and young people outside Somers Town Hub, which were preventing her from leaving the property to get milk for Elijah. Upon police attendance, Miss Cottam's behaviour concerned the responding officer, which was recorded on their body wall camera, which I've seen, and actually it does funny. I said to him, he said to me, "What's up with you?" I said, "Excuse me, why you got your hand on my buggy?" He said, "Well," he said, "What's the problem?" I said, "Well, you people have already taken two of my children, get your hand off your buggy." He said, "Yeah, and this is your third." Well, yeah, they got my reaction all right, and I'm being told off for my reaction. Don't scream if you're being now. Upon police attendance, oh, hang on. Due to the escalating concerns regarding Miss Cottam's behaviour and mental health, and my mental health again, but yeah, then again, I'm released with no mental health. Due to the escalating concerns regarding Miss Cottam's behaviour and mental health, police protected Elijah. They protected him from my mother because he put his hand on my buggy. I was going to the shop for milk at 7:15 at night. Due to the escalating concerns regarding Miss Cottam's behaviour and mental health, police protected him was in the care of his maternal grandmother. Miss Cottam then was detained under the Mental Health Act, where she was assessed and later discharged from Hawthorne Ward. The Orchards stated she had no mental health concerns. The assessment concluded Elijah was made to child protection planning following police protection, even though I was detained and released with no concerns. The third assessment was completed in June 2019 following a referral in May 2019 from housing raising concerns about the children being in and out and around volatile and verbal abusive home environment. There are ongoing concerns of domestic abuse, and recent concerns brought that children were left alone in the flat, which is why the door was broken down by Mr. Samuel. This is because Dean had to break the door this time when I locked myself out of the flat when I went to the bin chute, and all the neighbours caused an absolute fucking hoo-ha saying Dean was kicking the fucking door in, and we ended up with a full-scale fucking army of police to it. And it was me. I'd got locked out of the flat. No, I didn't leave the children in the home. Actually, originally the kids were asleep, they were in here, and it was just the fact that I'd gone there and I'd actually put the thing across the door, and it literally clicked, and as I've turned and gone bang, I've gone shit. And because I've run down to the woman there and gone, the kids are in the house, everyone's going, I'm a mad raving, I'm going, but the kids, they're asleep. And of course Dean's trying to get in and he's woke the kids up, so of course everyone's then gone, oh. So anyway, she explains this in a minute. However, continue. Imagine a judge reading this. People that don't know you, don't know anything about you. Yeah, so there were ongoing concerns of domestic abuse and recent concerns, children being left in the flat and the door being broken down by said father. So that's what caused it, by the way, because he kicked the door in. I told him to kick the fucking door in because they wouldn't come and open the door. And I'm saying, but the kids are in and they're awake. I have to get in now. I can't wait. And I just said, because he literally come up the back stairs because I knew he was coming, hence why I was just getting rid of the bins and sorting a few things out, because I knew he was on his way. And literally, I've gone, fuck, shit, and it was only because Liam had been there and I'd taken the little key off, so I actually had my keys with me. I just didn't have the actual front door key because I'd taken it off and it was on the fucking side in there, and I hadn't grabbed it. So I grabbed my bulk keys, the little key, because I kept taking it off, which is why we've now got the key thing at the front door. Liam's obviously not here now, and we needed more keys, but it's money in it. So anyway, so I'd socialise that again. So further footage on Facebook where Miss Cotton was recording a conversation with police is concerning due to the children being exposed by police attendants and mother at times erratic and conversational behaviour. Miss Cotton can be seen talking about government corruption in child trafficking and illegal removal of children, and how her children were removed due to her standing up about the truth. Miss Cotton was talking about Donald Trump being part of stealing her children. Actually, I've never ever said Donald Trump is part of stealing her children. I said I presented a pitch to the network I've never ever said he was part of stealing my children. And actually, if you look at the body camera, that's not what I said. And this is when the police told me to come and stand down, because I said I'm going to do my 3-minute pitch. And you all can see it live on it. Just don't put me in these situations. Don't piss me off. Do you know what I mean? So, how her older children were removed and given to a paedophile ring. I didn't actually say they were given to a paedophile ring. And if they were given to a paedophile ring, I'm going to come after you bastards. The police report, were they given to a paedophile ring? My daughter's cut her freaking hair off and turned into a boy at the age of 9. What the hell are they doing to my kids? My kids were kidnapped, for fuck's sake. They've been trafficking, whether you like it or not. Fact. And it goes to show that they're following my Facebook. Hi, social. Hi, please. Where was I? The police reported there were concerns about Ms. Cotton's emotional well-being. However, they had no concerns about the care of the children. The current concerns being raised mirror those that are being raised throughout Shiloh and Elijah's lives, throughout their older siblings who were removed from their mother's care. No, 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 no. While persecuting me over false information yet again. Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is not the easiest condition to claim to have, or you wouldn't have written a nice letter supporting my housing needs, which is in the housing letter, where you talk very nicely about my EDS. Where was I? I'm making sure that I read every word, so you don't say she's editing, she's not. I'm giving it to you all. Persecute me, do what you want with it. They are. And you might actually say to me, actually, that's not bad, or that's true, or whatever, or maybe you've misunderstood that, or whatever. But this is what they do. I'm just showing you what the council are doing with your tax money. How my children are funding this money, and your money, and your children. And also making sure this is my safety net. If they take me into court and my kids go, this is why. And the people that are doing this, I'm gonna let the Lord deal with you, mate. Be careful your cancer diagnosis, eh? The concerns have been explored with Miss Cottam as it appeared accepting of the advice given regarding if not leaving the children unsupervised. Listen to this. So basically what they're saying is they've given me advice about not leaving my children unsupervised. Look, if I was leaving children of 2 and 3 unsupervised, do you really think they would just be giving me advice about not doing it? Now just read. We haven't even got to the 15th. This is just previous reports. Miss Cottam would not purposely leave the children unsupervised, and this incident has happened as a result of the front door shutting. Slate me and then say it in one sentence. Further highlighted the need for a more appropriate housing for the family and additional practical supports, such as a key safety fitted on the outside of the property. Well, we did that the day after. The assessment concluded the family close to universal services. What's universal services? For those of you who don't know, I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I have vocal cord dysfunction. I have been talking for 57 minutes. My airways try closing. I am renowned for having a cup in my hand for preparation of vomiting and being sick. They don't talk about these things in front of the kids, do they? They don't talk about mummy throwing up. They don't talk about joints popping out. And, do you know what I mean? Yeah, come on, take the kids away. Mummy's got a sickness. The assessment concluded the family close to universal services. I don't know what that actually is. I need to do some research. So anyway, now we're getting here. On the 15th of December 2019, a referral was received to Children's Social Care from Portsmouth City Council Community Warden. The community had attended the home of Elijah and Shiloh due to health and safety concerns. Upon 2 seconds. It's just all repeat, cut and paste. Upon making contact with Miss Cottam, and don't forget this is all about Shiloh, by the way. This is about Elijah. So this is about Elijah going to museums. This is about him loving his trucks. This is about him, liking to high five people, that he's really loving and kind and sensitive and giving, and he's funny and he likes doing his lives, and he's into he's now got a new fascination, by the way, with the Shaolin warriors, into samurais. He's got really into samurai warriors. It doesn't talk about these things, does it? In Shiloh's report, it doesn't talk about his skating and his skateboarding and his swimming. And, do you know what I mean? And these people are mental. They need sectioning. So anyway, the warden attended the home of Elijah and Shiloh due to health and safety concerns. Upon making contact with Miss Cottam, they raised concerns for the welfare of the family due to Miss Cottam's poor presentation. This referral initiated the 4th single assessment to have been completed by Portsmouth Social Care. The warden contacted the out-of-hours community care at 3:42 a.m. in the fucking morning. Lucky the police didn't knock on my door there and then, wasn't it? I'd have been fuming. Due to the contact with Miss Cottam being at 12:30 a.m, it wasn't. It was 9:30 a.m, and it's on their body camera evidence, and is also on the evidence of my neighbours, and also on my live. So, and at the weekend, Yes, so mummy was out clubbing and taking some drugs and getting pissed, shagging it up, bringing men home, out, leaving the kids at home, being a dirty fucking bitch. No, she was cleaning out the house because of the kids' Christmas presents and putting the decorations up and moving things to the store. The kids were asleep in bed and actually not downstairs. I hadn't even got that, hence why it was out in the hallway, because then Jamie was going to take it downstairs in the morning. So, anyway, the warden called to share concerns following their routine patrol that evening in Edgbaston House. The warden stated he was with a colleague throughout and they activated their body-worn video as they were unsure what they would find. Oh my goodness, she'd cut the kids up, she'd slashed their heads off, she'd murdered them and she'd shoved them in a fucking bath. So let's get a video camera evidence, eh? And there's signs outside and everything. They could attend to that, so I do understand. However, they weren't, hence why I told them to turn it off. Let me say this again. They activated their body-worn video as they were unsure what they would find. They knocked on my door. Shiloh was in bed. Elijah was literally just drifting in and out of sleep as he does. And because I was back and forth, but he was asleep. And he'd got up because he'd heard the door, gone to the door. And I was literally like there instantly and had said, look, my kids are here, can you turn your body camera off? I knew what they were there for. I was just about to explain it to them, but they started being cunts. So anyway, the warden explained that on the second floor there were lots of personal items in the hallway, including an internal door from the property. The door was open, so they called out to see who was inside. The warden was greeted by a small boy who spoke to them about his toy. Ms. Cottam then came to the door and displayed, because we were getting rid of all of his old things so he could get his Christmas presents, as mums do. I'd have put a nice sign saying free to a good home. And the reason the door was there, because it was that one that was being decorated by unsaid graffiti artist, and it was going down to storage to get auctioned off. So anyway, you could even see it. It was all sprayed up. Ms. Cottam then came to the door and displayed behaviour which they felt was very unusual, because I told them to turn their fucking body camera off. I didn't say it like that. I said, is that on? He said, yeah. I said, can you turn it off, please? He said, no. I said, well, then move away from my door. He said, no. So we have no right to video me. They chose to carry on, so I said, look, fine, let's do this. Then you've got the camera on, I've got my video. Now, I wish I'd gone live, because I'd proved that whole conversation, what was actually said. I have a phone now. This is why I fucking hate not having a phone. My lives are my lifeline, they really are. So anyway, and this is actually not true. And I'm going to pull his body camera evidence to prove this. However, but it's not true. The warden described Miss Cottam as highly strung and making lots of nonsensical comments, flitting between topics. Miss Cottam states she was filming them and mentioned she had worked for Donald Trump and Edward Snowden. Now I'm going to stop there and tell you exactly what he said. What he said was, I got the council's permission to do this. It's the anniversary of my kids. I'm doing it to help myself through just clearing out. It's my way of dealing with it. I've been told just to be left alone. I don't know why I haven't been told. And he said, well, we have to go and fill out our report. I said, if you go and fill out your report, then you're going to activate all this on me. Yes. And you don't understand the consequences of your actions. And what happens is people end up with the police and social at their door, and parents end up having their kids taken because of their reaction to the police being at the door wanting to take their kids away from them, because people like you who don't see the consequences of their actions. And I said, can you just let me get on with it? Yeah, I said, you've disturbed my son now anyway. I said, so I'd had the door open because obviously there was contents of the property outside and it was fine. There's no problems here. Like, and I mean, I've had that flip with what's his face, and I was literally like sat with a list of writing what was going, what was staying, what was going up for sale. And I can't do it during the day when the kids are up because it's a fucking nightmare. They ransack the hallway and take it out. So what I'd basically said was, I'd mentioned it. I was in normal conversation with them at one point, do you know what I mean? And in relation, I've never ever claimed to work for Donald Trump. I've always said I crewed for Donald Trump and I've hostessed for Donald Trump. And I have evidence to prove that. And also in relation to Edward Snowden, I didn't say that. I said about the cameraing, and I said, I don't know where your camera is going. I said, I've seen Snowden, and I said, and in fact, Snowden came out after me when I posted up about them watching my Facebook. So, you know, I have every right to say you can't video me, not mental health. And I wasn't lying about anything. It's true. I'm telling you, you're dealing with a mother who's just had her kids taken. Leave me alone. Give me my space to do so. Don't prod me. Don't poke me. Just leave me alone. Yeah. The wardens confirmed Miss Cottam's name, and she spoke about there being 2 children there. The warden explained Miss Cottam was immediately defensive and accusatory, saying they were going to take her children away from her, and she'd previously had children removed from her care. So why would you then go and do that? And that's not what I said. What I said is, you people fill out your reports, and because of multi-agency, you don't understand the consequences of your actions because it activates children's social care, who then activate the police. The wardens explained he made a telephone call to out of hours, and this is the problem. They ring out of hours. Fault number 3 or 2 or whatever it is. Like, the fact that they're ringing out of hours, the fact that they're ringing children, not adult social care, because it should be for adult social care to come to me if you've got concerns about my mental health. Although the child appeared happy, because it was only one child. I didn't see Shiloh. Shiloh was asleep. The child appeared happy, and it wasn't that noisy because it didn't wake Shiloh up. They were concerned about Miss Cottam's behaviour. The wardens had not reported to the police or ambulance service, as they did not feel it was a level of risk at the time, but they wished to report it to social care due to the comments made by Miss Cottam. But they had to ring late night out of hours, didn't they? Such high concerns when my children were asleep by then. Probably awake like now. The wardens also raised concerns that Elijah was very awake and clearly hadn't been to bed, which was concerned due to it being early hours of the morning. It wasn't, you bastards, and I'm going to pull you up on it. The items in the hallway appeared to be significant amount of internal contents, which was blocking the corridors, hallways, and other front doors, which made it a fire hazard. Actually, it wasn't. It was literally behind my buggy. These items included road bollards. These are Dean's Art Project things that I'd put down to storage. Ms. Cottam has described to be rambling, unable to make an entire sentence, quoting laws that weren't actually laws. This is just him being a cunt. Ms. Cottam continued to scream at them. Well, if I was screaming at them, why didn't I wake my son up? Where's the sentence? Screaming at them that they were breaching her rights and that children's social care were going to take her children away from her. Ms. Cottam stated that she works for President Trump and can evidence this. No, I'm talking about property developer Donald Trump. I have nothing to do with President Donald Trump. I'm talking about property developer Donald Trump. And I put my pass up. The warden stated to Children's Social Care he was a mental health nurse for 20 years. Hang on, darling. You were a mental health nurse. You're not a mental health nurse now, are you? years, and Miss Cottam appeared to be having an episode of types due to presentation, erratic and chaotic behaviour. The warden staff will be returning later that evening to assure Miss Cottam had cleared everything away. No, sorry, wasn't clearing everything away. It was like, no. And sorry, darling, you're not a mental health warden. This is a private property residence area with long-term residents. I'm not under any supported living whatsoever. You're just fucking security for the block. The wardens further completed a visit that evening and the items remained in the hallway. The information was passed on to the out-of-hours duty care, who undertook a visit on the 15th of December 2017. Which I then said, yes, it's getting moved. If you hadn't have pissed me off last night, you know, Jamie would have come and done it before Elijah had gone down properly, and it would have been gone. But you were cunts, and you pissed me off, and I slammed my door and left you to it. Oh my goodness, I'm injecting children with heroin, and I'm raping and abusing children on a fucking daily basis, and I'm such a cunt. Note from the visit stated several attempts. Oh yeah, this is then, and this is bollocks because I was then hoovering. So this is then the 15th. I was actually hoovering, and Dean had gone. Well, actually, I don't know what the truth is. I'll find out, but I haven't really got any concerns either way. But note from the visit stated, following several attempts, there were no answers at the door. However, children would be heard in the property who went quiet when the door was knocking, as the social worker walked away from the door. Oh, so you walked away from the door. You can't hear jack shit from my door once you walk away from my door. You'd have heard a hoover, love. Miss Cottam had heard to say something from behind the door. The police were called to support with access to the property. The social worker had a brief discussion with the priest, who advised that they would initially seek entry as 4 people would be overwhelming. So the police came in on me first. Police were able to access the home. Both Elijah and Shiloh left the flat and came to the corridor. A male, Mr. Samuel, identified himself, having come from next door flat, stated he was the husband of Miss Cottam. The children were observed to engage positively with the social worker and Dean. They presented as clean and happy. Shiloh was less engaging, however, understandably due to his young age. Shiloh remained with Mr. Samuel, however, smiled and laughed at the social worker. Elijah was observed as having very clear language. He spoke about home and toys and playing with each other. Now we're talking about Elijah and Shiloh, finally. Elijah was excited to see the policeman, who was also engaged with. Mr. Samuel asked about the children in a positive way. He shared that he does have some worries about Miss Cottam and her arguing with him, stated that the children were not seeing this. Mr. Samuel shared his tours, music and art, so he's not always at home. However, he will return as he can for the children. The social worker stated that Mr. Samuel's presentation indicated that he may be under the influence of substances and was observed the smell of cannabis. Ms. Cottam shared that the neighbours of cannabis, the same flat Mr. Samuel came from. However, he was clear in his engagement, and the social worker and the children. Shiloh was observed to fall over. Mr. Samuel comforted him. And when Shiloh became loud in the hallway, he encouraged him to quieten down. Dean says he was actually in the hallway having a fag and come through. And my neighbour, I actually know my neighbour, I wouldn't have had any problems wherever he was. I was hoovering and he'd gone out for a fag. I don't really care. But he's got to argue his way. It's not me they're accusing, and they're not saying it's me. So they're just saying he's come out of a flat that stinks of weed. So, and I've always said next door stinks of weed. So anyway, the police had been at the property for around 10 minutes and could be heard struggling to get Miss Cottam to calm down. The social worker went into the living room of the property. The male officer left. whereby Miss Cotton was agitated, although it appeared to be as a result of the police being in her home. Hence where my stress and anxiety come from. In my normal life, it's not like this. When I'm dealing with these cunts, it is. Because they took my kids, caused trauma, and then 4 times have threatened to take my kids. But they're not trying to take my kids. They just have concerns for my mental health. The female officer moved to the doorway of the living room so the social worker could explain to Miss Cotton why they attended the address, discussing all the items being put in the corridor. And when the warden went to speak to her in the early hours of the morning, both the children were actually one, and it was because of them again. Both Miss Cotton stated on several occasions that the social worker had taken her other children away from her, which is why she was suing me. Miss Cotton corrected herself and stated that she knew I wasn't the individual social worker, but the organisation that they worked for. Miss Cotton stated that she was breastfeeding her child so that the social worker could not take them away. That's not true. We know that many children are taken from the breast. So I wouldn't actually say that. The social worker attempted to explain to Miss Cotton that her role was not to take her children away, but to make sure that everything was okay, given obviously outside the corridor. Miss Cotton stated that she clears her things out twice a year due to the flat being too small. Actually, it's 4 times. And actually, it's pretty much every weekend. Throughout the duration, for about 30 minutes, Miss Cotton calmed on and off, and then would be upset, angry when she reflected on her life experiences and her older children removed from her care, because I showed them, said, leave me alone. Miss Cotton was described as loud and become strongly held contentious views about many subjects. The children appeared to be well cared for, and although Miss Cotton presented as chaotic, and the children were not fazed by this, Miss Cotton appeared to parent the children alone, although Mr. Samuel was present that evening. We weren't expecting him to be around, was he? Information from previous assessments note that Miss Cotton shared she had Mr. Samuel in 2015 while campaigning downstream. Miss Cotton shared that initially did not like that she initially did not like Mr. Samuel. However, after spending time together, their relationship grew and the couple came to Portsmouth before Elijah was born. Mr. Samuel has children from previous relationships. Social care records show Mr. Samuel only having 2 children. However, during a previous visit, Miss Cotton shared that Mr. Samuel also had 4 children. Miss Cotton has shared that he does not see his children because the mother does not allow this. However, previous social care assessments reports that he did not. I should blank this out, it's about him really, but it's fine. Maintain a relationship with his children as he felt he needed time to find himself and did not feel able to offer them the level of stability they required. Further information gathered from social care records state that Miss Cotton's physical and mental health have been the reason for children's social care involvement. Liam was born. Miss Cotton is admitted to a psychiatric ward after suffering from severe physical pain due to health professionals unable to diagnose or evidence the reason for the pain. However, Miss Cotton was 22 when she was diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, and Miss Cotton continues to describe this as causing her great physical pain and discomfort. Miss Cotton has undergone a psychological assessment to assess her mental health throughout social care involvement. One of the assessments completed throughout the care proceedings reported that Miss Cotton presented with a complex range of personality traits that are clinically significant: borderline and narcissistic disorders, ADS, ASD, Asperger's syndrome, making it difficult to work with professionals. That's from Aaron and Faith's case. With regards to Mr. Samuel, previously assessments reported that Mr. Samuel was diagnosed with autism at 13, but he's never required any support to manage this. comfortable and safe housing. Now it really discusses what the toys have, what, you know, the comfortable bed, even though it's a double, and their cuddles with their mummy and their daddy. It doesn't talk about the things that they do, their trains, their art, you know, the stuff that they go out and do. The family reside in a one-bedroom property in Southsea, Portsmouth, which is overcrowded. Miss Cottam stated that she had been set up to fail by the council due to them placing the family of 4 in a one-bedroom property. Well, they didn't actually. They put a pregnant mother of a couple into a one-bedroom property. It's our duty and responsibility. It's just that they've made our life so much harder. Home conditions have been observed to be good, although there is evidence the family do not have enough space for the amount of their belongings. There have been concerns raised by the community warden team following the referral. Initial due to Miss Cottam caused a fire risk to her belongings out the hallway. Fuck's sake, it was going down to my storage unit. Miss Cottam states that she gets on well with the neighbours, however, has issues with the smell of the cannabis, which I've always had an issue. It's not even the smell of cannabis. It doesn't smell of cannabis. It smells of fucking peroxide. Throughout this assessment process, Children's Social Care have received anonymous letter and separate phone call raising concerns of the welfare of the children. Now, this is coming to you people out there, because we know you've taken such lovely time to write a letter, such concerns for my children's welfare. You cunts trying to get my kids taken, and you wonder why I have stress and anxiety over you people, that only one person can light a fire in my life around my kids. Hence why I want to get to a country where I don't have to deal with this shit and people like you cunts. Oh yeah. Oh, the neighbour states that the children are often in and out of the property. Sorry, darlings, do we not sit down in the garden and go to the park and maybe just make it to the local shop? Oh, do we actually go out swimming and go to the skateboard park and down to the beach? And actually, some days do we have nice days out? And sorry, we go in and out of our flats. When were you the reporter of when I go in and out of my flat? And oh, we go to the shop for milk and then we come back and we come in our home. That's what you do. You have a front door, you go in and out. And Kelly's erratic behaviour worries them. Sorry, is this erratic behaviour? Am I being patronising? Erratic. Oh, get a life. Go get a shag or something. However, the families are too worried to say anything directly to Miss Cottam. Come knock on my door and talk to me if you want to. Come and ask about me. Watch my lives. You know, I don't know you cunts. I don't know you people. You're just my neighbours. Jamie's the only person who comes in my house. Sean, who used to live here, is the only person who's ever come in my house. And John has been in my house. Graham. There's thousands of people around here. Thousands. I speak to my next door neighbour. Just want to get backy papers. I have no issue with her whatsoever. None. You bastards out there. You cause this pain to my children. Oh, I'm coming. School. Elijah and Shiloh are too young to attend school. Once both Elijah and Shiloh were old enough, they will require Miss Cottam and Mr. Samuel to afford them the opportunities to promote their learning and improve their future opportunities. Miss Cottam has explained to the social worker that she does not want the children to attend nursery, as she does not trust others to look after Elijah and Shiloh. And no, I don't. And education doesn't start at 5, it starts in the womb. Support from family and friends and other people. Ms. Cottam states that her relationship with her mother has broken down due to social services, care involvement and the removal of her older children. And again, you can't. Ms. Cottam appears to parent the children alone throughout the year due to Mr. Samuel touring with his music and art. Work opportunities for the family. Ms. Cottam shared with the social worker that she is a full-time mother to Elijah and Shiloh, however, campaigns for forced adoption UK. No, I don't campaign for forced adoption in UK at all. Forced adoption in UK is obviously something she's aware of because that is actually something exists, but I don't campaign for them at all. Mr. Samuel was shared with the social worker that he's a DJ and tours around with his music and art. Belonging. Both Elijah and Shiloh require stability, and Miss Cottam has shared that she would like permanency in the form of a 2-bedroom house with a garden. Miss Cottam shared with the social worker that she does not feel as she belongs in the area and does not associate with others in the area. Miss Cottam states that she feels betrayed by her neighbours as they often report to social care, hence the reason for her not choosing to associate with others. Having resided in Portsmouth for a number of years, Mr. Samuel and Miss Cottam awareness of the local resources. Miss Cottam utilises local events, the food kitchen and King's Church. Hence why I have an issue with King's Church. Debbie. Funny Debbie. Funny Debbie, you just tripped up, girl, because somebody was sat on the bench while you were around for something. And, yeah, Debbie. However, King's Church have recently made the decision to ban the family from the service. That's not actually true. King's Church haven't banned me at all. It's actually Food Bank that have banned me, which is actually private on a Thursday, which actually is not run by the church. So King's Church haven't banned me at all, hence why I go over there and I'll go and do what I want. I can go up to Food Bank whenever I like. It's just Thursday nights on their dinner night. So singles dinner night. In January 2020, volunteers at the church had stated that Miss Cottam let the children run wild. This was the woman who kicked my child's toy under and he went across the room and come back. They run wild. And that they play near the hot food, which is a safety risk. No, they go right over at the other end, which is my table, which is on this side where there's a little corner. Seriously, I'm going to do a whole filming on it. Miss Cottam has been described by the staff to really shout at the children. Yes, when they run across the road near a hot thing, I'm going to shout at my children and tell them to get back here now. Of course I'm going to. Don't go near the hot pod now. No, boys, here, now. They like this brackets thing, don't they? Oh, here we go. Miss Cottam has been reported to state, you get my children taken from me, you get children taken away from parents. And I do. I say to this woman, you're dangerous, you work with vulnerable adults, and you cause children to be taken off of these adults, and you don't even work with the children, you don't work with social care, all you are is a report writer. The event leader attempted to defuse the situation without success. King Church stated that they have asked Miss Cottam to leave politely at the end of the evening. Once, however, everyone had left, Miss Cottam and the children remained in the corridor and called the volunteer the devil, pointing to the volunteer and stating to the children, people in authority aren't nice people. It's true, actually. I didn't actually say people in authority aren't nice people. I said that, no, that's not actually true. Actually, that's not actually true. I know exactly what you said. I said you're like the woman in Devil's Prada. Yeah, I said devil hidden woman. You're not a woman of God. A woman of God don't stand in front of a woman and push in front of her to try and prove that her EDS is not real, and then turn around and go, yeah, there's always something wrong with you, isn't there, Kelly? No, not a support worker doesn't do that. Devil does that. And actually, I've never actually said people in authority aren't nice. And I don't consider these people as authority over me. They have no authority over me. The Lord has authority over me. No person, no man has authority over me. Not even Dean has authority over me. He's not my husband. He has no authority over me. You people have no authority over me. These people have no authority over me. The police have no authority over me. I'm not criminal. I'm a mother with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and Asperger's. I'm not criminal. Around the time the volunteer... Now, this is where she's fucked off. Now, I don't know if you saw the live. I did a live where I went out with my mate Jamie and we went down to the seafront and some woman gave my kids some Action Men. And I didn't have a camera, but I did talk about it on my live. And Jamie was sat on the bench. Now, this is ages quite far away. there was a bus that jumped out, and that woman, Debbie, got off the bus. But that was over by the cafe. Jamie was sat on the bench, which was like 3 benches across, and I was over by the football with my kids. And I shouted to Jamie and went, "That's her," as in Debbie, Debbie, Debbie. This is what Debbie's written. Now, luckily, she didn't know Jamie was there. She just saw me and the kids. They don't know who I know and who's not with me. And he was sat on the bench. And I was talking to him about this tonight, and he went, "Really?" So around the time the volunteer got off a bus in Somerstown area, it wasn't actually Somerstown area, it was down this end. Ms. Cotton approached her. I didn't approach her. I was actually over the other side with the kids. I didn't even go anywhere near her. I looked at her and she got back on the bus. Stated, "I fucking thought it was you," shouting down the street. "Look at you all proud." That's bollocks. Absolute bollocks. I have said that to them in similar ways, but not what she's claiming. King's Church have sent the letter, a family letter, and actually it's not King's Church, it's Food Bank, get your facts right. King's Church is a corporate business that own the church, and then they hire it out to sub things, and it's individual facets that deal with it, so get your facts right. Especially when you bring it to me now, get your facts right. King's Church have sent the family letter to ban her from the service due to the risk to the children and her aggressive manner. Because it's not meant to be a homeless kitchen, it's meant to be for families in the local area that are on their own. God, this gets so boring. How long have I been on there? The family were registered with Somerstown Healthcare Services. The family currently receive the ECO level of support offered by Health Visiting Services. However, the health visitor has raised concerns regarding parental engagement. Funny that, I'm going to ask her about this now. Elijah has had no medical conditions. Elijah has not received any immunisations due to parents' use. Health Visiting Services have been involved since July 2016, where no concerns were raised. In November 2016, concerns were raised regarding co-sleeping. So they raised concerns with me about co-sleeping with my children in a 1-bedroom flat. Advice was given by the health visitor and noted that Ms. Cotton was extremely tired and unwell and not responsive to Elijah. Actually, I'd hemorrhaged, I was laying on the floor and I didn't have anything in this house, and she called the doctor, got medication for me. In April 2007, Ms. Cotton reported that she was pregnant and unhappy with the health visitor that she had reported the pregnancy to MASH. Because she did. When she was told it was fine. I'd already been through social, I've got baby, we've moved on, I'm pregnant, we're allowed to get on with our lives, and then they report me to MASH again because I'm pregnant and I have to go through it all again. In December 2017, a family home was undertaken and the family was noted to be grubby and cluttered. Really? Was it? Okay. Ms. Cotton raised concerns regarding her mobility and advised to book a GP appointment. Later that month, Elijah's weight was according to increased by 3 centiles. Elijah was drinking lots more milk, which was advised to reduce. Elijah's legs were recorded to be very bowed. It's not, a referral was made to physiotherapy and podiatry. Elijah was seen in December and then discharged. The health visitor raised concerns in 2017 that the home appeared manic. Yes, because of this fucking overcrowdedness. And again, at the end of the day, they're then saying there's no medical records on my children, yet they're saying that he's been to audiology, he's been to have his legs checked, yet they're saying there's no medical record and no engagement, yet he's done these things. Shiloh has no medical conditions. Shiloh has not received any immunisations due to parent refusal. Health visitor report record stated in December 2017 a home visit was undertaken and home conditions were noted to be clean but cluttered. Ms. Cotton was given advice regarding passive smoking. I'll take that on the head. Later that month, Shiloh remained unregistered at the GP and his weight had dropped and he had developed jaundice. Well, no, it's because he was in hospital, you idiot. His weight had dropped, he had developed jaundice. He was still in hospital, hence why he hadn't been registered with the GP. Yeah, in hospital, yes? Don't try and say that was out of hospital. He was in hospital, he was born. Don't even go there with me. he remained under the jaundice clinic in January. However, he was improving. Shiloh 6 to 8 review was completed, developed as expected. However, the living arrangements of the family were unsuitable due to the limited space. By January 2018, Shiloh's needs were appearing to be met. He was steadily gaining weight. In June 2018, Miss Cotton and Miss Samuel requested screening for Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and were advised for the GP to make a referral to the no other concerns raised regarding his care. Ms. Cotton has a diagnosis of Asperger's syndrome and also suffers from Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a connective tissue disorder. Ms. Cotton is under a physiotherapist due to Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. EDS sufferers have a increased range of joint mobility, joint hypermobility, stretchy skin, fragile skin that breaks and bruises easily, dislocates joints. Health records indicate that Miss Cotton has a trait of personality disorder, however has not had a diagnosis. Thank you. Notice none of these people help me carry the boxes down to the storage unit knowing I have EDS. In August 2017, Miss Cotton was detained under Section 2 of the Mental Health Act for assessment and treatment, again, as you know, released, and also have an upheld ICPC complaint for unlawful and unnecessary detainment. The health visitor has reported periods where the family are settled and their engagement with the visits is good. Records stated that in January 2019, Miss Cotton was observed in the GP surgery using a raised voice. Staff were explaining to Miss Cotton and asked Miss Cotton to not raise her voice due to other patients who were unwell in that waiting room. Miss Cotton was then reported to ask in a very loud manner if anyone else thought the appointment system was rubbish. Miss Cotton was asked if she would like to make a complaint. Take a complaint form to raise her views. Miss Cotton accepted. Throughout this time, she continued to shout in the GP reception, and the waiting area stated that she would be suing the GP and attending to take further with other residents in her building. Miss Cotton eventually left the GP office without the complaints form. I did email the complaint through. Further concerns were raised regarding the lack of supervision of the children during the GP surgery. Actually, do you know what they didn't actually mention in here? It's really funny, but they should have said it, but they didn't. Actually, was I come back from the doctors because they ended up giving me the wrong doctor. The automatic door shut on Elijah and Shiloh, and we couldn't press the button to get them back out because it was a one-way door. It's not funny. I was going mental. I shouldn't say going mental because I wasn't going mental. So anyway, I've been trying to get a double appointment with the doctor. Their system is crap. So Miss Cotton shouted it was disgusting that she couldn't get an appointment. Miss Cotton is not currently open to any adult mental health service. So, learning, children school age, under school age, so it's just these questions, but they're under school age. So that's all the questions they have to do if children are of school age. Sorry guys, I'm still going on. You want to see it? You want to see how this works? Let's go. Confidence in who I am. Elijah and Shiloh require positive and constant parenting for Miss Cotton and Mr. Samuel that is responsive to their needs. Elijah and Shiloh present as happy children, engage well with a social worker throughout this visits. Nothing about my kids whatsoever. Being able to communicate. Elijah and Shiloh are age-appropriate skills in regard to their communication. Elijah is able to hold a conversation about his toy. Both Elijah and Shiloh will inform Miss Cotton of what they need and want. However, Miss Cotton's presentation by shouting at professionals and becoming distressed gives Elijah and Shiloh the indication that this is acceptable when they're communicating with others. Miss Cotton is not an appropriate role model, however, to behave or communicate with others in front of the children, which is impacting their understanding of what is acceptable. Don't come into my fucking house intimidating me then, you cunts. Learning to be responsible. Elijah and Shiloh are reliant upon Miss Cotton and Elijah Samuel to teach them the difference between right and wrong. In previous assessments, Miss Cotton and Miss Samuel have shared their expectations that their children would grow up in an environment where they would be expected to be respectful of others and adhere to the rules and boundaries. Miss Cotton has already highlighted the environment in which she lives and the people within the area impacting Elijah and Shiloh's emotional development. Elijah and Shiloh have been witness to Miss Cotton shouting and screaming at other people, including professionals. This gives the children the message that the authoritative figure are negative people, which suggests that Elijah and Shiloh may never seek require help from professionals when they were older. What's interesting is they said that Elijah is engaging very well with the police officer and the social worker at the door. Contradiction. Becoming independent. Elijah and Shiloh are both reliant upon their carer to meet their everyday needs throughout the home visit. The children have been seen to be appropriately dressed. Miss Cottam shared her strategy regarding footwear. Miss Cottam states that she will put the shoes on the children when they are going downstairs to leave the property. However, if they are leaving the property to go down to the bins or storage unit or the washroom, then she will leave the shoes off so the children know what to do. That's just one thing, becoming independent. It's only because it's downstairs and they want to go out. So I say we're going down to the laundry room or we're going to the bin chute. And it's indoors. It's in the block. Enjoying family and friends. Elijah and Shiloh evidently have a close relationship with their parents. Miss Cottam has shared their relationship with their extended family and been strange due to the involvement of children's social care. Miss Cottam has explained that she is not ready to let the children out of her sight and are solely in her care. Yet she leaves them in the home. Everyday care. Elijah and Shiloh are reliant upon Miss Cottam and Miss Samuel to meet their everyday kid needs. They have not been any concerns raised regarding the children's care afforded to the children. They are always dressed and have enough food within their home. Keeping the children safe. Miss Cottam and Miss Samuel are responsible for keeping Elijah safe. However, this has not always been evidence. Concerns have been raised by the local church, where the family have been banned due to the lack of supervision. The children running around hot food, resulting in the family being banned from the services within the community. Debbie, I'm going to have you up against a fucking string, girl. It's my only concern. Debbie. Lots of lives on you, Debbie. Being there for the children. Throughout home visits, a positive relationship has been observed between Mr. Samuel and the children, as well as Miss Cottam and the children. Both parents appear responsive to the children's need. However, when Miss Cottam is irate, shouting at professionals, oh, we've got irate in there now, have we? Mr. Samuel has taken the role to attempt to calm her down while comforting the children. This is only because the police knocking on my door. Because Dean was never here. He was here for that incident. Miss Cottam needs to prioritise her own needs, including managing her mental health to ensure mental health when the psychologist keeps saying I don't have mental health. What I have is also issues with the services. Anyway. To ensure that she is available for the children. When Miss Cottam is stressed, her behaviour and presentation is concerning when it's been highlighted by others in the community. Miss Cottam needs to ensure that she has the skills to manage her stress and to ensure that she remains available to the children. No, what I need is to be in a home with a nice front door and a gate, and I don't have you cunts around me. Bye, Johnny Five. Play, encouragement and fun. Nothing about the children going down to the beach, nothing about the children going to the park, nothing about the fact that we go to lots of different places, nothing about the fact that even today we were at the park and the ballpark, nothing about the fact that we're at David Lloyd Gym now, nothing about the fact that the children have sold toys, nothing about the fact that they have travelled, been to places. Here's the sentence. There is a lack of space in the property which restricts the amounts of storage space for toys. However, there are age-appropriate toys and games for Elijah to have access to. Guidance support the children to make the right choices. Elijah and Shiloh are reliant upon Miss Cottam and Mr. Samuel. Oh, for fuck's sake. These people want to come and do my ironing. Could help me then. I could have done my ironing this time. Where are we? However, evidence suggests that Miss Cottam does not always do this. Miss Cottam's presentation will have a negative impact on the children, and they will normalise shouting and screaming as they feel stressed due to what they have witnessed. I actually do agree with that with children. However, my children don't see this every day on a daily basis, just when the police are knocking on my door trying to intimidate me. Elijah and Shiloh have age-appropriate understanding of what is expected of them when disciplined by Miss Cottam and Mr. Samuel, knowing what is going on and what's happening to them. Miss Cottam states that she has routine with Elijah and Shiloh. However, this can be difficult due to them being of similar ages as well as the neighbours. Miss Cottam states that the neighbours' continuous drilling is not the neighbours' drilling, it's the council. which have been heard throughout the home visits, negatively impact on the children and their routine as they can struggle to sleep at night during the noise. Actually, it's the students at night time. Miss Cottam's behaviour is unpredictable. No, your turning up at my house is unpredictable, which is increasingly disorganised attachment between her and her children. Disorganised attachment continue to impact the children. Sorry, I've just got to deal with the cut and paste here. To grow up, they will often fail to maintain ordinary relationships. Oh, look, we're nearly at the end. I've nearly done 2 hours. Scales. Oh, sorry, now we've got that. They're analysing. This is Elijah, by the way, where I don't actually see anything about Elijah in this report. Single frame assessment work. On the 15th of December, a referral was made to the community warden during a routine patrol around the block. The wardens made contact with Miss Cottam, who stated that there was having a clear-out. Following, the warden asked Miss Cottam to remove the contents of their home that were in the hallway. Miss Cottam's presentation was observed to be challenging, and the warden felt Miss Cottam was suffering from poor mental health. The warden described Miss Cottam as highly strung and making non-nonsensical comments, filtering between topical conversations. Oh my goodness, seriously, guys. Sorry, I'm going to have to do all of this just to show you how nauseating this is. Let's get highly strung now. I need a coffee. Between topics, Miss Cottam stated that she was filming them and mentioned that she had worked for Donald Trump and Edward Snowden's. Further concerns were raised by the wardens during the time, as Elijah and Shiloh were awake. Oh, now we've got Elijah and Shiloh were awake now and wandering in and out of the property, stating that they clearly hadn't been to bed. Actually, he knocked on the door. Children were in bed. Out-of-hours social worker undertook a visiting the following day, joint with the police. Miss Cottam's presentation remained unconcerning, and Miss Cottam missed the statement emerged from a neighbouring addressing presenting under the influence. Following this assessment, Elijah and Shiloh's physical needs appeared to be met, and the children were always dressed appropriately and engaged with the social worker. The health visitor has not raised any concerns regarding their development. However, engaging with the family has been challenging. No, because we haven't had a phone, that's why. She usually just texts me. Further concerns have been raised through the assessment from the neighbours, reporting the children are unclean and running in and out of the doorways, as well as Miss Cottam continuously shouting at the children. The family have been recently community hot food evening during Miss Cottam making threatening to the volunteers alongside the children being at risk to injury due to food running around hot food. Oh my goodness, seriously? I'm in a fucking city. These are my only safe places to go with 2 young fucking toddlers and they want to be cunts. No wonder I don't want to go to these places. Anyway, although no concerns have been raised regarding any physical care afforded to the children, Miss Cottam's presentation regains concerns about outbursts of shouting, threats and quoting of legalisation continues. Elijah and Shiloh did not appear to be fazed by this, which would suggest it causes an ignorance. Yes, it is with you people. Elijah and Shiloh were not registered with a nursery, and Miss Cottam plans to home educate the children. The health visitor has raised concerns that Miss Cottam does not have the capacity to provide a wholesome education for both the children. Miss Cottam has experienced having 2 older children, Aaron and Faith, removed from her care, subsequently adopted. This experience has likely caused Miss Cottam to feel negatively towards children's social care, hence her behaviour and presentation to professionals. Regardless, Miss Cottam needs to ensure she manages her stress and trauma to stop exposing Shiloh and Child. I agree to that, but my kids, hence why I do my lives at night while my kids are asleep. And I don't talk about this. Elijah and Shiloh don't have this life. This is not normal life for Elijah and Shiloh. The referral incident raised concerns that Elijah and Shiloh were still awake at the time of contact, which was early hours of the morning. Actually, like I said, they were in fucking bed and it wasn't early hours of the morning. This would suggest he made the call at 3:49. Yes, he made the call to hours. Yes, he made the call at that time. Get your facts right. This would suggest that the children do not have a stable routine in which the children require to promote their development, sense and stability to support development and understanding of what is expected to give them the skills to build their own positive relationships as they get older. Look, It was a one-off fucking night of sorting out prior to fucking Christmas, which caused disruption by them, and it was a weekend, for fuck's sake. Mum was out clubbing, doing drugs, dancing. From this assessment, it was my recommendation that consideration be given to a holding of multi-agent professional strategy meeting to consider progressing to initial child protection conference. To be added to the follow assessment to be shared with Miss Cotton. Children too young. Troubled families, balancing scores, headline. Crime, antisocial behaviour, tick. Education, tick. Children who need help, tick. Tick. Domestic abuse, tick. There's no ticks in these boxes. None of access. Does this child need needs determined which they should receive under section 17? No. Does this child have any needs which should be dealt under section 47? Yes. So they're going under a section 47. Has there been reports shared with the clients? Yes. Was a copy of the comment complaints procedures supplied online? Have you used the trouble checked family list and submitted a form of troubled families? Please tick one of the boxes. Untick. Signed by Victoria Ross. And then there's another copy for Elijah Shiloh, which is exactly the same. So, first and foremost, if I have mental health concerns, I would have mental health concerns because I have trauma. I have trauma because my children, Elijah and Shiloh, were unlawfully, got the right kids then? Aaron and Faith, were unlawfully and unnecessarily taken from me from Flintshire Council, claiming that Ehlers-Danlos syndrome was the easiest condition to claim to have, and using my foster care records against me. Then I've had repeated trauma from these people, to the point now that I don't like conversations with police officers. It has now come apparent that I have been right about everything that I've ever said about the historic cover-up and the current cover-up as still to conclude. They tried doing it to me again around exactly the same time 7 years later. I haven't done anything wrong. All I've done is get my Christmas tree down from the storage units downstairs, put Christmas tree decorations up, and clear out the boys' bedroom from all of their toys that were either damaged, broken, out of their age, going to charity, going up for sale, getting rid of them, putting them in the bins, bin chute, storage units downstairs, the bin is outside, the bin is across there. I'm not a drug user, I'm not an alcoholic, I'm not out people, I'm not out murdering people as much as there's a few people I'd like to stick on a fucking firing range. Every psychological report comes back saying I don't have mental health issues. What I have is stress. That's what they keep saying. They're saying she's stressed. She's stressed because of the current situation. That's it. I'm stressed. So these people make it so much easier for me, don't they, by helping me carry it downstairs to the storage unit, being that I have EDS. EDS, for people who know, means I have subblock dislocations. And this is the treatment that we get. So I'm hoping to go over to France. If anyone wants to help me, by the way, be it money, if you want to help me in any way, shape or form, I'm going to ask the EDS people if they will donate the tickets for me to attend the conference with as many people that want to come with me and understand my condition. And I'm going to ask the ferry people if they were willing to donate a ferry ticket for me to get over to drive over. I'll hopefully have my car on the road. If not, I'll sell it and hire to go over. But the consultants and specialists and professionals from America and all around the world are going to be there in Paris. And I would really, really like to be there to talk to them about the abuse that EDS families are having from the services and the fail to actually support that is warranted in a lot of medical neglect and a lot of pain and a lot of injury to me. I don't really need to be having. And ultimately, I just want to work, and I just want to design my dance outfits and my joggy bottoms and my branding for for what I'm really about. Me, Kelly Cotton. Me. I'm not even Kelly Cotton. Kelly Cotton is my married name. Kelly's real. Kelly, Kellie, Kellie, lie. I was actually born Kelly with a Y, but me, Kelly. This end it is my life. I live it, breathe it. do it. It exists every day. Child trafficking is real. It's going on, and I want it recognised as state trafficking. It's child trafficking as well, because if they'd got away with turning up at my door and Dean hadn't been here, if like I'd been in the property on my own. Luckily, he was next door, wasn't it? But if I'd been in the property on my own, chances are they'd have taken Elijah and Shiloh there and then, and they would have been just like Aaron and Faith, gone for adoption for Chris. And if I didn't have these lives to talk about this stuff, if I didn't have these things for people to know what's going on, then, you know, this would be crazy. So I need 50 quid to sort Shiloh's passport out. I need to find my foster parents or somebody else who can sign it for them. I need to get over to Paris to go and see them. It's not a holiday, it's not a joint, but I will go over and talk to families that have ran. I will do some more stuff while I'm over there. If people want to help, please do. I have probably about 35 quid left now, but I do have access to now be able to go down to David Lloyd, and I will talking to them about it. I might even cancel it and get the money back, but I don't think that would be a good idea. I think I should continue forward because it's not rooted to anyone in the UK. I can transfer it anywhere I move to. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to build my stability in things that I can't move right now. And I really, really would like to find a landlord who is a property person who just buys property to rent, that's willing to buy a property that's right for my family's needs and do it on a rent to buy with me, so I can rent it now under, you know, under universal credits and use the universal housing thing while I build up self-employment, and then take over the rent to buy myself until eventually I can take that property off them, you know. And I'm certainly going to be putting that out there to all people, because they buy properties for the, you know, why not have a tenant that you already know that's going to give you a long-term lease, do you know what I mean, than just put a property out there for somebody to rent. So I don't expect government to support me and my children, and Dean doesn't, which is why he's doing his best out there too. But we are on universal credits, and it's been made harder because it's like, even now I need to leave here by the 19th of March, right? Because I think it's about 6 hours from here. So from here to Paris is 6 hours, including the ferry. So I want to be over there for the first day, which is all of the professionals learning. So I want to be there for that day because I want to be a guinea pig for the professionals on that day. And then the next day is for the patients only. So I want to be over there. But guess what day that they've set my medical assessment here for my universal credits? 20th. Well, I'm meant to be in London for an event in London, 19th and 20th, which I'll sack off for this. I've no problem with that. Nick can go and fuck himself. But I do need to go and speak to these consultants, because at the end of the day, for the last 7 years, I've literally been left with a subluxation and a severed cord and Chiari malformation in the back of my neck, and they've just left me. And they've, you know, I even explained that if I went through with these, explained it to Dean that this is what happens with somebody with EDS, and this is the level of support that's needed, and these are the infrastructures that need to be put in place. And it doesn't make me a child abuser, you know. Does it make me a child abuser by sharing Ehlers-Danlos syndrome onto my kids? Look, Liam and Daniel, I wasn't diagnosed, I didn't know. Aaron and Faith, I didn't understand. And I kept trying to tell these people, and I even said to Dean, like, look, seriously, like, I can't have children unless you people really understand this. I don't know if I take this personally, and it hurts me more because they don't recognise the challenges that I face. They don't recognise what I overcome on a daily basis. They don't recognise that I'm doing my best on a daily basis to make this as functional as possible. And I'm not doing it from a point of view where Dean's given me a credit card and gone, right, just, you know, go buy curtains, go buy furniture. And, you know, I've been married to a man like that. You know, if I needed a bigger wardrobe, I'd just say to Graham, I need a bigger wardrobe. And we'd go off down to the furniture shop, and he would say, which wardrobe do you want? And I would go that one. And he would either pay for it outright, or he would put it on to some form of finance, which we did with the sofa ones at DFS, and he took over the bill. You know, that's the way it worked. That's what I was used to as a married woman. And you know, Dean and I, as even there said, we came from Downing Street. You know, literally, Dean had a backpack, and I had that exact bundle of suitcase of paperwork. Now I've got to add this bastards to it. So, but anyway, now this report has arrived. Now I'm going to respond to it, but I'm going to be responding in a way now that's going to pull all of this together, and I'm going to be taking it directly straight over to the courts and saying enough's enough, enough's enough. Like Dean said to them, he said, I don't understand this. He said, either she's playing stupid games or you guys are harassing her, because this always happens whenever we've got a big event going on here, or there's something, you know, going on, or, you know, if you look at the other stuff that's going on around it as well, with my phone and everything, and around the same dates and times, and I just happen to be the same mother with 2 and 3 year old, different children, different city, different